Hello, Uncle Ted, your ice cream alchemist here with ice cream every day, and this is sweet potato maple marshmallow ice cream. Try saying that fast 5 times. But, this is good stuff. I'm going to start coming up with names for these ice creams. Just call this Ted number 1 or something, because I'm putting so much stuff in it, it's hard to remember. They get to be tongue twisters. But I gotta say, this stuff is wonderful. Really. Somebody gave me a bunch of sweet potatoes, and I figured I knew exactly what to do with them. By the way, this giant sweet potato, all the sweet potatoes that I was given were like footballs. And this thing actually comes out to be exactly 2 pounds. But I boiled them, and then I let them cool, and then I went ahead and peeled them. Just make sure you get all the skin off and everything. These were very good sweet potatoes, very sweet. I like sweet potatoes, and I like working with them. I know that I've got another sweet potato ice cream flavor already, but this is something I've been wanting to do. And yeah, it's more of a Thanksgiving flavor, but you know what, that's okay. It came out amazing. This is really a very good ice cream. It's not too sweet. It's not too rich. The flavors are balanced. So, just follow along. And it's really simple to do. Now, I used a 1/4 cup of brown sugar before I mashed these. And look at the color. This such great color on the inside. I love a good orange sweet potato because the color is just wonderful. And especially if you're like making bread. I make a wonderful sweet potato bread. But anyway, I just went ahead and used my tater masher and got all that mashed up and made sure that the brown sugar was completely incorporated. The brown sugar just takes a little bit of that starchy flavor out of them because they're still taters. I mean, yeah, they're sweet, but they're still taters. So once I've got them all mashed up, I just set them aside, and then I go ahead and get my dairy heated up. And same as always, 2 cups of heavy cream along with 1 cup of whole milk. And yeah, it's a really bright white because I got a white stove and then white dairy and stuff, so I gotta adjust the white balance a little bit so you're not blinded. Sorry about that. But I just want to get this hot. Not boiling and not super hot. I just need to get it warmed up. And then I only added 1/4 of a cup of sugar. Normally I'd put 3/4 of a cup of sugar, but I'm putting a lot of sweet in here and I didn't want to overwhelm it. That turned out to be pretty good idea, actually. This way it had some sweetness and it helped adjust with the moisture, but it didn't overwhelm it. And then I went ahead and used 3 tablespoons of good Wisconsin maple syrup. I know you saw the bottle on there, and no, that's not Uncle Ted's medicine. That's actual maple syrup that is made from maple trees. It's not the cheap stuff. And then I also added 1/2 cup of non-fat dry milk, but then I used 13 marshmallows. You can count them out if you want, but I used 13 marshmallows. And the reason for that is because sizes vary, and so I just went ahead and got a bag of the big ones and put 13 in there. Almost half the bag, basically. And if you want to use half the bag, go for it. This has a pretty good balance to it, like I said. And so, going with 13 was a good idea. One thing to keep in mind is that you want to go slow when you're melting these marshmallows. They melt under warm temps, so I don't need to boil this dairy. And actually, I turned the heat down here in a minute just to reduce heat because I don't want to scorch these things. I just need to dissolve them in the warm dairy. And at one point I actually turned the heat completely off. It was plenty hot enough. I just needed time. And so I just kept on whisking because this will stick, so you have to keep whisking. And so I just kept on whisking until they finally got dissolved. Once they were dissolved, I could take it off the heat, put it in my bowl, and make sure that I'm careful not to get burned, because let me tell you, melted marshmallows, if you've ever done that with s'mores, yeah, it hurts. They burn. So I was very careful with this. That's also why I gently set the marshmallows in so I didn't splatter anything. But then I went ahead and added my 2 cups of the sweet potato sweet puree. I mean, it was mashed sweet potatoes, but we call it a puree just to be fancy. And it's funny because it measured exactly 2 cups. That sweet potato was the perfect size. I didn't plan it that way. I'm just good like that, I guess. But once I went ahead and got the sweet potatoes in there, I gave it a whisk. And I loved the color on this. I really did. The other thing too is by doing the sweet potatoes like that with the hand masher, I was actually able to get some really small pieces of sweet potato in the ice cream, so you can see it in the ice cream. And I really like that because that means it's authentic. You know, you have an authentic ingredient. You know, you're not trying to hide anything. Once I went ahead and got that whisked, then I went ahead and added my half a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and I use a Mexican vanilla extract just because, number one, it's affordable, but it's got good flavor to it. Sometimes you gotta use a little more, but it works out. And then I put it in the fridge overnight, put it in the ice cream maker according to manufacturer's instructions, and this is what you get. I actually had some pecans in my fridge, and I threw it, there was only like quarter of a cup, so I put them in, so you can't really see them that well. But I did add, pecans to this, which really kind of put it over the top. It was wonderful. This is a very good ice cream flavor. It's got a good balance. You can taste the maple, you can taste the marshmallow, but it's not too sweet. And that's one thing that I've been trying to work on lately, is making sure ice cream's not too sweet. But you know what? Thank you so much for watching. And if you're not eating ice cream for breakfast, what's the point of being an adult? Appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe.